Hi, and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with the January transfer move to Arsenal. I am still buzzing after last night. What a fantastic win by Arsenal over Manchester United, and it's been brilliant. You know what? I've only just got up, man, and trust me, it was a long night. We were interviewing fans long into the night. I think I got them about 3 o'clock in the morning. We interviewed so many fans last night, and they were so happy. They were so full of pride. I mean, that was a general theme of things last night. Fans saying to me that for the first time in a very long time, they came out of the Emirates and they felt proud, of the performance, proud of the players, proud of the atmosphere, proud of everything to do with that game last night. And it was absolutely brilliant. And Arteta deserved that. He's had 3 games so far. The first game against Bournemouth, lots of improvements. Should really have won that game. The Chelsea game shouldn't really have lost that game. Again, lots of improvement. And then you saw last night, fantastic performance. Deserved to win. We kept United so quiet. It was unbelievable. And it was fantastic. Fantastic. I've already been texting some of my Man United mates this morning. They're very quiet. As Aubameyang said that last night in one of his tweets, they're sleeping, right? And they're going to have a long sleep today because we made them look very, very ordinary. And on Aubameyang, who was one of those players last night, although he didn't score, his work rate in the game was absolutely tremendous. Of course, captain now, gave it absolutely everything for the badge. And there's a lot of good sounds coming out of Arsenal regarding Aubameyang. Of course, yesterday on the show, I was talking about the fact that, he's been heavily linked with a move away. He's only got 18 months left on his contract. And the rumours have been circulating now for weeks that he could be gone in January. But he told a French outlet, RMC Sport, after the game last night that he is staying. His quotes are this. He says, "The English press likes to talk a lot. For now, I'm 100% here," he said. So hinting there that he's not looking to leave the club, that he will be staying at Arsenal. And the only thing I would say is that he did say for now. But, it's positive that he's come out and said that. You know what I mean? Now, of course, transfers are a thing that, is not just dictated by the player. It's also dictated by the club. Of course, the club will be looking to sign him up on an extension to that contract. He's a very important player that we must, in my opinion, sign. And if they can get that sorted out and get his deal extended, that would be fantastic. And of course, Aubameyang, if he's in the captain of a team that's doing very well, that he can see there's upper trajectory for this team, he's going to want to stay, surely. Unless maybe, all right, if Barcelona or one of those teams came in, but then is he going to start at Barcelona? Would he be the main guy with, Suarez and people like that there? So it's very positive, the news coming out about him, and hopefully he stays. I mean, listen, do we need to buy anyone? I mean, it's like we've just made, about 11 new signings. Some of those players that I saw last night with David Luiz and people like that, where have they been? And another player who was outstanding in the game was Granit Xhaka. And again, positive sounds coming out of Arsenal. Mikel Arteta telling the press last night that he's spoken to Xhaka and Xhaka will be staying. There's been lots of rumours that Xhaka's going to be on his way out and Xhaka's going to be going to Hertha Berlin. But Arteta saying after the game, he sat down, he spoke to him and he's staying. And again, we wouldn't have said this a couple of months ago, especially after the whole incident that happened between Granit Xhaka and the fans. It looks like the fans now have forgiven Xhaka for that. There's been, he's had several games now. Nobody's even hinted about anything to do with that. And he's played excellently. And with him and Torreira in the middle of the park, they looked a very effective partnership. And it's one of the things we've been talking for a very long time about Xhaka. What is his position? What does he do? I think Arteta has found his position. He's as that sort of deep lying player that, breaks things up, helps out the defence, but also can create with his passing and just keeps things simple and ticking along. And I think, what we've seen from Xhaka over the games that he's played under Arteta is a disciplined guy, a disciplined performance. And you look at it and you think to yourself, we could have done with him in that Chelsea game, you know. So good news there that Xhaka is staying. And again, you know, he's looking at the moment fresh. He's looking like a player that's up for the fight, and you know, and that can only be positive news for Arsenal. But Arteta, as I said on yesterday's show, sees him as a very important player. Now, could Samuel Umtiti be on his way to Arsenal? He was actually at the game last night. He was watching the game from the stands, and of course, spotted by the press, and speculation has been absolutely flying all over the place that could this be a hint that Samuel Umtiti is on his way to Arsenal. Now, I very much doubt it. Of course, Samuel Umtiti is very, very good friends of Alexander Lacazette. We've been here before. He's been to the ground before. He's been pictured at parties with Alexander Lacazette. They're very, very good friends from their days in Lyon. And Barcelona are on a winter break at the moment. And obviously, he's just over visiting his mates by the look of it. But, you know, we can dream. He would be good to get in the defence, but not going to happen. Barcelona doing very, very well at the moment in La Liga. And I don't think there's going to be any chance of him leaving. But it makes a nice story, innit, that he was there and all the papers and outlets have gone with it today. But don't get your hopes up. You know what I mean? Don't get your hopes up. Umtiti's not on his way to Arsenal. And it looks like Dayot Upamecano may not be on his way to Arsenal as well. RB Leipzig, the sounds coming out of there are that they're not willing to sell him this January. We spoke about him yesterday. And on yesterday's show, I said that, you know, obviously Arsenal looking for defenders. We know that's the area of weakness. Or as I said, although the defenders, Socrates and David Luiz played brilliantly last night, but we know going forward we're going to need greater quality there. Dayot Upamecano seems to be Arsenal's number one target. 40 to 50 million pounds is the price that RB Leipzig are said to be willing to sell him for. But as I said yesterday, they're top of the league. They're top of the Bundesliga in Germany. And why would they want to sell him? They're also still in the Champions League and they're doing brilliantly. So it would be crazy when you think about it for them to sell him. However, what is fueling a lot of this speculation is that he's only got 18 months left on his deal and he hasn't yet signed a new contract to stay at RB Leipzig. So that's been fueling it. But the sounds coming out of Leipzig are that he's not going to be sold in January. They are going to keep him. And if we go move for Upamecano, it will more be a summer move, which would then, again, make it very important that Arsenal try and get into the Champions League. Some of these targets, to get them done, I really do think Arsenal are going to need some sort of Champions League football to be able to you know, have a chance of making some of those signings. And at the moment, even though we had that great win over United last night, we're still looking way off it. There's still a lot of work to do. We'd have to get on a great run. But Upamecano in January looking unlikely because RB Leipzig really desperate to hold on to him. Eddie Nketiah, of course, who's on loan at Leeds. Of course, Arsenal play Leeds on Monday night in the FA Cup. Looking forward to that one. We haven't played Leeds for a very long time. But Eddie Nketiah, who's had a decent loan period at Leeds so far, is returning to Arsenal. Arsenal have recalled Nketiah. Nketiah confirmed it yesterday on his Instagram, thanking his teammates and saying that he really enjoyed his time at Leeds, but he is going to be returning to Arsenal. Bielsa, the manager of Leeds, thanked Eddie Nketiah and spoke about how professional he was and how good he's been. And looking at the stuff coming out from Leeds fans, they're really disappointed that the loans ended and that Eddie Nketiah is returning back to Arsenal. Now, will he be returning back to the fold to Arsenal to play? Of course, he's a striker. We lack strikers, of course. Obviously, we've got Aubameyang, Lacazette. But behind them two is just Gabriel Martinelli. Out and out striker wise, there's not really anybody else. So maybe Eddie Nketiah might be returning to the Arsenal first team, or will he be going back out on another loan as well? Mikel Arteta said to be discussing the future of Eddie Nketiah today with Raul Sanelli. to decide what they're going to do. I think Arsenal were a bit unhappy that at Leeds he wasn't playing week in, week out. Bielsa seemed to be using him a lot as an impact substitute. And, you know, Nketiah was doing very well with it, scoring goals, really making a big impact at Leeds. But I think what Arsenal want for this guy, if he is on loan, is they want the guy to be playing week in, week out. And he wasn't doing that at Leeds. So it wouldn't surprise me if they was to send him out on another loan at the end of January. And there's a load of clubs queuing up to get Eddie Nketiah because he is a goal scorer. Lots of clubs in the Championship. So it's going to be really interesting to see whether Arsenal keep him or whether he goes back out on another loan. But he has been recalled back to Arsenal. He returns to Arsenal today. And we may see him. You never know. He could be in the game to play against Leeds because I presume that Arsenal will be resting lots of players. I mean, don't expect to see players like Aubameyang, Lacazette. You know, they were out on their feet. Ozil, he was brilliant yesterday. So Eddie Nketiah, you never know, could come in for that game. So those are the transfer rumours today. Still buzzing from that Man United win. Was fantastic. Maybe Arteta's transfer window, if he can get those players playing like that from now till the end of the season, maybe he might not need as much in January as he thought. But hey, let's wait and see what happens. But certainly a great performance by the team. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe here to AFTV, and we will be back tomorrow with another Transfer Daily.